Queer.
Fucking dyke.
Dirty gay cunt.
Off diver. You're a man.
Uphill gardener.
Tranny.
What are you doing in these toilets?
Bender.
Fucking gay twats.
Gay boy.
Dyke.
Arse bandit.
Butt muncher.
Lesbian.
Everything. Homosexuality was made illegal by Queen Victoria. She didn't believe that two men could have a relationship together the same way that a heterosexual couple could. So, in her own eyes, she decided that it was something that she had to do something about. So she made it illegal. What she didn't do was make it illegal for lesbians. So throughout history it was always believed that women only had an affection for each other as a friendship and nothing else, but whereas two men it became apparent. The Stonewall riots were started because of the police persecution of gay men in New York. They used to raid coffee shops, bars and clubs that were apparently renowned to be gay venues. They would even send in police officers undercover to drink so that they could watch and see what was happening. And as soon as they noticed the same-sex couples dancing together or holding hands, they would then call with a signal and the place would be rioted. But the Stonewall riots actually kicked off when everybody stood up and said, no, we're not taking this anymore. And they marched on the police headquarters in New York protesting. Homophobia is a huge problem in today's society, mainly in schools. You do hear it on the streets, but not as much as it used to be. But in the schools, it's still a major issue and has to be tackled. When I say has to be tackled, it has to be tackled by not just the schools themselves and the teachers, but it has to be tackled by the parents in the home, teaching the youngsters that it's not right to act in a specific way towards someone just because they're different. Growing up, I grew up in an era where there was no internet, so finding out information was much more difficult for myself. When people called you a name, or you saw someone acting a particular way on the television, the name calling, you would look for the words in the dictionary and you wouldn't find them. Watching people on the television, they were always the butt of a joke, or they were put in a position of being perverted or wrong. So as I grew up, it was difficult for a completely different reason to the youngsters now. I set the charity up basically because I'd had friends and family members come to me asking me questions when they were worried about another member of the family or in their peer group, because they didn't know how to handle a situation when they thought someone may have been gay or lesbian. Also, I was coming into contact with people through the media that had taken their own lives, and I just thought it had to stop.
My name's Billy, I'm 19 and I grew up in Reading. I'm working part-time at Echo Garage, just for a bit of funding. Otherwise, I live with Will. I lodged with him, because before I was like bumming around on people's sofas and stuff, so he just said that I could have a spare room. So. When I did come out to my friends, because I told one friend and they told everyone, and I lost all my friends, most of them because being friends with me meant that they were gay, that they couldn't be seen like that, but the rest were obviously homophobic. So that was a bit of an obstacle, as you can imagine, but I did find new friends pretty quickly, and they were stronger friends than the other ones, so it kind of worked out. Because I didn't have strong access to the internet where I was, and the school didn't have anything poster-wise, or they didn't even have like a group or anything, so no support. There wasn't any.
I've known Billy now for almost 2 years. He came down with a friend to visit the charity when we first launched, and came back and forth over a period of several weeks, and then eventually moved to Salisbury so that he could volunteer on a more permanent basis. And he's been now volunteering with us for about 18 months.
My name is Wadid Salah Karlberg. I'm 31 years old. My Thai friends call me Yoi, and everyone else calls me Julie. I was born in Sweden. I lived there for 7 years, and then I grew up here in UK. I'm currently studying, and I've just started a 2-year BTEC course in music at Salisbury College. I started wearing female clothing since I was 12. Between that and the age of 20, I got a sexual feeling out of it. After that, it became a big part of my life. That was between the age of 20 to 24. When I was 24, I did live as a female for a year after I finished my degree, but I was squatting at a friend's house at that time. However, around February last year, 2001, I decided to stop coming out of the closet and then going back in again, and decided to come out properly.
I've known Julie for approximately a year, maybe a little longer. She came to us with transgender issues that she needed help with and support, so we dealt with those by talking with her family in a groups format session, and we've assisted Julie as well with other things like finding service provision through medical help and information. She's a lovely person who's been treated quite badly socially on a personal level by people in the street, but she's overcoming that now by busking.
My name's Sam Moran. I was born in Devizes, Wiltshire, but I've lived my whole life really here in Salisbury. I'm 44. I work for an organisation called BTCV, which is British Trust for Conservation Volunteers, and I do a lot of conservation work, and I'm doing a diploma in environmental conservation. I dressed in a very tomboyish way. I was quite a tomboy really. I was forced to come out because my mum had found letters that I'd written to my girlfriend, and so she kind of confronted me with it. So I never really came out. I was kind of forced to come out, and then that was it then, you know. I just didn't turn, I didn't deny it after that.
Well, I've known Sam for approximately a year, and she first came along to one of our events with a few questions that she needed answers with. We managed to sort that for her, and we've dealt with a few other issues for her on her behalf. She's become quite a good friend, and she also acts as a volunteer for the charity now. Rainbow Rooms UK is a charity that looks after lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender people. We also look after their family, their friends and anyone that comes into contact with them, i.e. employers. We offer a service where we signpost people to other services around the country. If they don't know where to find assistance or help or support, they can come to us, we find it for them and we get it back to them. But also we've now started putting those services into place ourselves, and we're fast becoming one of the larger LGBT charities in the country.
I was there at ground level, so I arrived on the very first time they opened up their social evening and youth group. So, I never attended as a guest. It gave me confidence in my aspirations, so it kind of gave me like momentum to achieve what I wanted to out of life. It showed me that, you know, help is there if it's made to be there.
From searching for transgender support groups on Facebook, I found Rainbow Rooms. My GP and Rainbow Rooms are the main people who have been very supportive all this time. They opened up a lot of doors for me, and I have to admit that it really made my life a lot easier, as Will, Clark and some other friends have given me some very sound advice. They also provide a welcome environment for me too, and whenever I've got any dilemmas I can just go to them and ask them.
I've got involved with the Rainbow Rooms charity, and I'm volunteering with a youth group, which is quite exciting because I want to help young people who are come out in a positive way and make it as easy as possible for them, and not in the way that the problems I had, so that there's somewhere they can go for support. Well, I found out about it. I went to a music in the park thing. I used to go along to the social things, which I still do, you know. I found that quite good.
every child wants their parent to be proud of them. So for me, it was not wanting my parents to be ashamed was the biggest fear in the entire world. I think my dad was ashamed because he never talks about it, but I think that's better than saying negative things, so I'll go with that. I think my mum's ashamed of me. I'd say in a way the relationship with my mum's got stronger. Only minuscule, in a little bit.
When I first came out to my mum, we did a short ceremony, and for that I had to get down on my knees and put my head down, and like this, and ask my mum for forgiveness for all the mistakes that I had done in the past. That was the deal, so that my mum would then support me with my transitioning.
My mum had a lot of trouble coming to terms with it, and it was really difficult. There's a lot of arguments and things, and I had a breakdown as a result of it in the end. And then when I had my first proper relationship,